Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm putting up, be sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Now that we got that part out of the way, let's get into the video. Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea, but may not have time to experience it all firsthand. This time, we're picking up with the Heavensward portion of the monk storyline. When next you see Professor Eric, he once again has a task for you, but this time it's nothing too difficult. After Eorzea tried to kill you, a lot of your friends seem to do that, he decided to focus on rebuilding the Fist of Rogger. He's apparently gotten a few students and has been doing a good job of teaching them. All Eric wants you to do is go and see how he's doing. He's training in Revenant's Toll, a place that I'm sure you've noticed is very popular. Eorzea is very happy to see you, and he introduces you to two of his students, Heavensward and Eorzea. The two girls were abandoned by their parents long ago, and when they met Eorzea, they had begged him to train them. They've been learning fast, and they're both eager to see what you can do. There's no specific place where they train since Eorzea doesn't have a dojo or anything, so they train anywhere they can. Heavensward heads off to the north, and you follow to show her just what you can do. After you take down a beast in front of her, she realizes just how strong you are and sends you to show her sister. T'Chaka can't believe that you're even stronger than Eorzea, but now that they've both seen you in action, they want to learn everything you know. The reason they're so eager to get strong is because when they were growing up, they were alone and had to deal with a lot of bad stuff because they couldn't protect themselves. Being strong would make them never have to be afraid of anyone ever again. They start to ask you all types of questions, but shouts from Eorzea causes you to go and see what's wrong. You all find them kneeling down, exhausted and injured. Strangers showed up and attacked them, using the techniques of the monk order, something that shouldn't be possible. Eorzea was the lone survivor of the massacre at the Temple of the Fist, so there shouldn't be any other monks. Even more strange, the attack caused a new type of chakra to surge within Eorzea, one unlike anything he's felt before. Even though the spot that you're in was the host of the Battle of Silvertear Skies, T'Chaka doesn't believe that's why Eorzea awakened a new chakra. If you remember, monks can open their chakras by fighting at the sites of great battles, and the Battle of Silvertear Skies was a fight between the Garleans and Midgard-Sormr, the father of the first brood of dragons on Hydaelyn, including people like Bahamut, Nidhogg, and Racevelger. The battle ended when Midgard-Sormr brought down the Garlean warship the Agrius, only to be consumed by the explosion. He didn't die, but that's a story for another day. Back in Revenant's Toll, Eorzea lets you know that he was outnumbered by his attackers, but he was holding his own until his body was overcome by pain. When it faded, the strange monks were gone. What he felt was like chakra being open, but it wasn't the seventh chakra that he'd sought before. With no idea what it was, he decides to ask the smartest man he knows, Professor Eric. In the meantime, he sends his students back to their training before letting you know that he's going to study this new chakra, and if it proves powerful, he'll share the secrets with you. While you wait for Eric to get back to you, the two of you head out of the city to go help train the sisters. Outside, you find one of Eorzea's other students badly beaten and barely conscious. He tells you that his attackers were monks like the people who attacked Eorzea, and the two of you rush off to find them. They haven't made it far, and you take down a few of them while Eorzea chases some others. When you catch up to him, you find out that the others were none other than Heavensward and T'Chaka. They attack you, and during the battle, all four of you awaken strange new chakra. The two girls explain that the monk order is made up of two sects, the sect of light and dark. While you are from the light sect, they are members of the dark, and they claim that your sect's sole purpose is to bolster their own power. Instead of giving you more information, they pick that moment to leave. Their betrayal hurts Eorzea, but there are more important things to do than sulk, like finding out about the sect of Shadow and the new power that awakened in you, because you're going to definitely need it soon. The time comes faster than you might think. The sisters send you a letter telling you to meet them at Dalamud's Talons. The professor sent a letter as well, letting you know that he's on his way to Mordona to let you know what he's found out about the sect of Shadow. What he's learned is undoubtedly important, but first Eorzea wants to meet with his former students. The two girls are indeed waiting for you, and this time they seem willing to at least explain a bit about what they were doing. The reason they attacked you is because when monks that wield chakra from the opposite sect fight, they begin opening different chakras. The light sect monks start opening the shadow sect chakra, and vice versa. Eorzea tries to convince the girls to work with him instead of fighting, merging the two sects and training together, but their master forbids it. They are already disobeying him by even talking to you. They are only allowed to fight you, but they believed it was only fair to at least explain things to you. Explanations done, the sisters attack. As strong as they are, they're no match for the two of you, but the fighting opens their chakra further. However, to open the rest of them will take even more battles, which means they will be back to fight you again until the day they finally kill you and open the final chakra. But they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to do any of this. But as long as the Sect of Light exists, their master will seek to destroy it. So they want you to give up on restoring the Fist of Rhalgr. There's no way Wiedegold would ever do something like that. Instead, he decides that he has to learn more about these opposing chakras and how to use them properly for the battles to come. Fortunately, when you make it back to Mordona, the professor is there, and he has indeed done his research. While the origin of the Fist of Rhalgr and its rise to prominence is well known, what people didn't know is that there was a fight within the Order between the Sect of Light and Shadow. The leader of the Sect of Light wanted to form an alliance with the leaders of Alamigo, but the leader of the Sect of Shadow thought it would lead to the end of their order. They fought, and the Sect of Light won, banishing the Sect of Shadow from their order. Even though the two groups trained together, the way they gathered their chakra was different. That difference was the reason the two groups would meet and fight, so they can open the chakra of the opposing faction, because while it was originally thought there were only 7 chakras, there's actually 14. Wiedegold still doesn't understand why the two groups can't simply work together, but Eric believes that since it started with a feud, that feud might have never ended. He promises to look more into it when he gets a chance, but in the meantime, he has other stuff to do. Wiedegold decides that he needs to talk to the sisters again. He's going to track them down while you work on understanding the new chakra that's opened in you. It doesn't take long for him to find T'Chaka. She's in the North Shroud. He doesn't believe that her and her sister are acting of their own free will, and he wants to find out who's pulling their strings. When you find her, she's injured, because apparently her teacher had ordered her and her sister to fight to the death to open their final chakra. Zenza couldn't do it, even though she was the stronger fighter. Outraged, Wiedegold demands to know who their leader is, and without any hesitation, she tells him that it's a Makote named Harahatia, not to be confused with Grahatia. He had raised T'Chaka and Zenza after their parents had abandoned them, and the two of them had done all they could to please him, so he wouldn't abandon them too. But in the end, nothing they had done mattered. He didn't see them as family at all, only tools. During their fight, Zenza threw her sister off of a cliff so she could try to fake her death and get away. But T'Chaka could never leave her sister with a man who may kill her when her usefulness fades. She leaves to handle this matter alone, but Wiedegold stops her, offering his help. Having once done anything he could to obtain power himself, Wiedegold understands what Harahatia is doing, and he won't let someone else hurt anyone while making the same mistake he had, especially not his students. He heads off with T'Chaka, leaving you in charge of dealing with the people who Haraha undoubtedly sent to make sure T'Chaka was, actually dead. After you deal with them, she explains everything about her master and the Fist of Rhalgr to you. Originally, members of the Fist trained to open all 14 chakras, 7 of light and 7 of shadow. Those who opened 7 would be allowed to fight those who opened the opposite 7. The tradition lasted until the massacre at the Temple of the Fist wiped out the Sect of Light, making it impossible for members of the Sect of Shadow to ever open all the chakras. Until Haraha found out that Wiedegold survived the massacre, and sent his students to fight him. Haraha taught the sisters that the Sect of Light was the enemy, and they believed him until only recently. Originally, the two sects were one, and Wiedegold plans on making it like that again. All he has to do is convince Haraha to work with him. T'Chaka doubts that will work, and if it turns to a fight, since Haraha is the only person alive who can wield all 14 chakras, he'll probably kill you all. You being the only person of your small group who has opened 13 of the chakras have the best chance in a fight, but you will still be vastly outmatched by Haraha. You will need the 14th to have a chance to win, but to get it you would have to kill T'Chaka in combat, something that you won't do. But Wiedegold believes that if you all fight together you can save Zenza, but first T'Chaka needs time to heal, so you head back to Revenant's Toll to rest and to plan. Once healed, and after talking to Eric, Wiedegold thinks he comes up with a nice way to sit and open the chakras without fighting. He wants to test it in a place called the Dragon Spit. A great name. So you head off to meet T'Chaka, who already left. The place Wiedegold chose was the site of a major battle between the dragons and the knights from Ishgard, which makes it a perfect place for the test. Fighting at sites of great battles usually opens amongst chakra, and the theory is that if two monks of different sects fight near each other at the same site at the same time, the expended ether could activate their opposing chakras. It's worth a try, but before you can even attempt it, Hora-Hatia shows up to execute T'Chaka for her treachery. Wiedegeld threatens the man if he tries to hurt the girl, but Hora ignores him. Sensing that you have far surpassed Wiedegeld, he makes you an offer. If T'Chaka kills Wiedegeld, then he won't hurt her sister, and if you serve him, he'll release both girls. He'll wait for your answer at Little Alamigo. However, don't take too long, or he won't be able to guarantee Zenza will still be alive when you get there. When he leaves, Wiedegeld admits that he tried to fight the man before you arrived and got beat easily. He doesn't even think you can beat him. He wields all 14 chakras, but Wiedegeld doesn't understand how he activated the final one until T'Chaka tells you that Haraha had killed a priest during the massacre at the temple, opening his final chakra. So none of you can beat him, and T'Chaka couldn't bring herself to even try to kill Wiedegeld, which means there's little hope in saving her sister. But Wiedegeld hasn't given up hope, and you head to Revenant's Toll to prepare for battle, even though none of you have access to the final chakra. When you reach Little Alamigo, T'Chaka sees her sister being taken to some ruins. She doesn't have long, and T'Chaka does the only thing she can think of. She tells you to kill her and open your final chakra so you'll have a chance in the fight. However, you'd rather fight, lose, and die by your friend's side than resort to something so heartless to get stronger. So the three of you go to face Haraha and hopefully save Zenza. Wiedegeld tries to talk to Haraha, but he has nothing to say to the weak. Rhalgr the Destroyer demands the tribute of bloody combat, and in return he grants the power of the 14 chakras. The Sect of Light had tried to change the nature of the Fist, becoming part of the monarchy. That's why they were destroyed. And once the two of you, the last members of the Sect of Light, are done in, the Fist will regain its former glory. Haraha orders his students to kill your friends and capture you, and the fighting begins. Wiedegeld and T'Chaka free Zenza while you hold off Raha, but using the final chakra, he drains their energy and unleashes a blast of raw power at them. Throwing yourself in between the attack activates your final chakra. However, Raha has years of practice with the new power you just gained, but what you lack in skill, you make up for in plot armor, and you and your friends bring him down. Even though all is now well, Wiedegeld feels horrible that he couldn't save the man, but he perks up when T'Chaka and Zenza offer to join him in rebuilding the Fist of Rhalgr. They will gather the remaining members of their sect and bring them together, and from there, you can all go forward, restoring the Fist of Rhalgr, with the Sect of Light and Shadow once again working together as one. This concludes the Heavensward portion of the Monk storyline. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of the story.